A thoroughly exciting halftime. I can't believe you. That was the best one of the night, and what a way to go out in style here as we say goodbye to Foothill College Stadium as football in the 90s finally returns to the DeAnza College campus in Cupertino. Thoroughly entertained, we'd like to say thank you to the Independence High School Band coming down from San Jose and making their appearance here. And once again to say thank you to the 6 members of the San Francisco 49er Gold Rush that are here tonight to entertain the DeAnza faithful. We're getting ready for our second half kickoff. Both teams are here on the field. Right now as we begin the third quarter with 15 minutes on the clock, the score as we have last left you, 21-0. And those scores coming on a David Morgan, Rock Pifferini, and Leon Hawthorne touchdown. DeAnza, which had kicked off to begin the first half. We'll be getting to receive, and it's nice to have my partner, John Pay, here back in the booth, and we kind of sent John across the field to do a little scouting. And John, what report do you have for us here as you come back from the Foothill grandstands?
Well, I'm a personal friend of John Charles, and I kind of wanted to find out what happened and why John Charles had been taken out of the game late in the second quarter. And I guess it's been a rough season on John. He's 4th in the state in passing, but he's taken a tremendous beating out throwing the ball every Saturday night, and he's kind of banged up. And I think they just needed to get another perspective. They pulled him out in the second quarter. I don't know if he's going to return to the second half or not, but his confidence has been hurt a little bit.
I can understand that, and if we kind of get a chance to go back a little bit, when John was a junior in high school at Mountain View High, he was in Northern California, the best passer there was, and he was expecting big things and big dreams, and he was planning to, right now, be on a Pac-10 team. As a senior, his offensive line graduates. He finds himself on his back more than he does completing passes as a senior in high school, and therefore, the scouts weren't there, so he does the next best thing with his talents, and he's able to come to a community college such as Foothill. And as you've just mentioned, the stats have been fantastic, but unfortunately, with not having the talent up front, John, and I think, honestly, you can kind of relate to this yourself, as what happened with your senior year there at Stanford. When the bodies aren't there up front, a lot of times it's the guy back there throwing it that takes a punishment on his body.
Well, yeah, John has taken a beating this year, and I really feel for him.
Here we go. Oh, the ball's dropped and fumbled there by Percy Wells. Percy trying to do something after his little mistake.
Looks like a scrum out there.
Just like the good old X's and O's out there going head-to-head, a little rugby scrum, and a host of Foothill tacklers brings Percy down at the 20-yard line. Well, DeAnza will have a chance with 14:50 left here in the third quarter to begin their first drive of the second half. Once again, bread and butter for DeAnza.
One thing I've noticed, Matt, is when DeAnza's in that tight formation with their wide receivers and the tight ends in close, it seems like either they run the ball or if they do pass it, it's a rollout type of sprint out pattern. And I think that'd be maybe a point that Foothill should key on.
I'd also say here quickly, that's also a great opportunity since the defensive backs usually take a step in for Morgan to go deep. 2nd down and 6. Santana tries the right side. It looks like he's going to be a yard shy of first down territory. We'll bring up 3rd down and 1. As Santana and Pifferini come off the field. Rock seems to be limping just a little bit. Straight dive to Hawthorne. And by a body length, it appears that Leon should have this first down. As the officials do the umpiring, And the officials, here's another opportunity, John, where you might want to call the chains out. And it looks as though DeAnza declines, and Coach Mazuka sends the punting squad out.
13:53.
So Foothill does what it needs to do on their very first defensive stand, and that's to stop DeAnza and get the ball back for the offense. They're able to do that. Nicholas back to kick. Almost blocked there by who else? Number 12, Jason Seidel. And for the first time in a long while, a Pat Nicholas kick takes a DeAnza roll, and it lies dead on the 17-yard line. And I'm just frankly impressed with what Jason Seidel's doing on the football tonight. He's doing everything that's asked of him.
Well, it's a throwback ball player. He plays both ways. I don't think they do that in high school nowadays. But you know, there's a player from the Atlanta Falcons who's been seen playing special teams, offense, and defense. You
And
know
also,
that?
and doing a little side time action on the cover of Sports Illustrated. No other than Neon Deion Sanders. Here we go. Seidel set to throw. He's got his tight end 80. It's complete. That's Phil Gillen. And as Phil catches the ball coming across the middle, he finally gets to say hello to number 6, Alden Barrett.
Let's do another one. 1195.
And Alden gets to say hello, as he always loves to, with the DeAnza shoulder pads to the midsection. It's a first down, though.
95.
Seidel doing a nice job there. He was taking the 3-step drop there, John, looking to fire the ball out to the right-hand flat, and he decides to go for the run up the middle.
Well, that, I don't know why, but that particular play reminded me of the Super Bowl game with the 49ers against Miami at Stanford when Joe Montana had a 3-step drop, tried to hit Freddie Solomon on a slant pattern. He wasn't open. He just ducked up inside for a touchdown. You know, that's a good play by the quarterback.
Brings up 2nd down and 6.
Try 1086. 1086.
And the officials had stopped play before the Owls had gotten to the line of scrimmage. And rather than call this play, they'll decide to go back into the huddle and start again from scratch. It looked as though, I believe that was Mike McGee over there, the Foothill punter, that was doing a little warm-up kicking, and the ball just happened to get on the playing field. And the side judge wisely called timeout. Unfortunately, hey, that play's going to be called back for the Owls as Lamont McAllister decided to get his engine revved up a little bit sooner than the rest of his team, and he left early. So therefore, a legal procedure before that play gets a chance to get started, and that's going to push Foothill back by 5 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 10 as Jason lines up in the shotgun. DeAnza full-on blitz. There's Codwell. Codwell, Foster, McClure. They all had a road map, and it all ended right there on Seidel's back. That's a severe sack, pushing the Owls back almost a good 9 yards, bringing up 3rd and 22. Not too many 3rd and 22 plays in your playbook. Dropping back even further, he's being chased. Oh, Percy had a shot. Ball was intended for Doug Cookerly. Percy had a present that was hanging up in the air, and he couldn't bring it in. Otherwise, some excellent pass defense by the Dons.
Okay, who knows what time it is? Let's go! Let's go!
Mike McGee in for his first punt here of the second half. Takes his snap. Gets up a nice end over kick. Dixon. Ball is fair caught on his own 41-yard line. And it's time for DeAnza to come in with their second possession of the second half. And as the offensive unit comes onto the field, there is 9:47 left in the third quarter. At this point, John, I'd say the offense needs to do something to try and liven itself up a little bit. It's kind of gone into complete stagnation.
Ooh.
And it looked like an excellent
Nice
catch there by the tight end, Pat Nicholas, lining up in the wide receiver position. And the officials did not catch Steve Kirby, number 90, getting a track start. Almost a little a la Richard Dent getting into the backfield. Pass, however, is still complete. It's going to bring up second down. And a long three. And Robert Santana there on the carry, straight up the middle. Mike Holt from his center position doing an excellent job, occupying the nose guard and able to knock him to the right on that last play. Santana following that block. Able to get first down yardage. Zermino has a chance there on the rollout right. He was looking for Hawthorne. He delivers the ball. It falls incomplete. Right there, it happened to be number 44, Tim Guittard. It looked like he had a chance to make that interception.
Well, we haven't seen too much of the Hawk tonight. He hasn't broken loose on any runs longer than 20 yards. A little option.
Oh, and a nice hit there. That's Chris Gearhold, number 42, laying a good hit there on the quarterback, Chris Zermino on the option. The defensive back there, Dean Trujillo, did a nice job to come up and cover the pitch man, Leon Hawthorne. Third down and 6. Oh, that ball's way overthrown. David Morgan slanting inside and coming back outside to do about a 13-yard curl out. And he really needed to have some springs in those legs to catch up to that pass as it sails high.
Well, I think Chris thought Morgan was going to go a little bit deeper on a post corner route. Instead, Morgan cut it off flat and was expecting more of an out pass from Zermino.
So here we are, Pat Nicholas back in the kick, trying to do his coffin corner routine. The ball's fair caught. Is it going to die? The ball tried to dig into the 4-yard line. Unfortunately, it rolls across the goal line. Foothill will begin their next possession. First down and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Well, here comes John Charles out to lead his team. I really feel this is going to be a good series for him.
Coach Mazuka there having a chance to talk to his punting unit. I think he was a little bit upset that his sprint people weren't able to down that ball. And here's something. All right, a little DeAnza football on the Foothill side as the ball's handed off to Al Brown. Al doing his best to drive the ball upfield for almost a 7-yard gain, bringing up second down at 3.
Well, what do you know? Jason Seedles finally had a chance to take a rest on the sidelines.
He deserves one there, John.
Fumble?
And Lamont
No.
McAllister, I think maybe Ryan almost tried to catch that, John. It almost looked like Lamont was there ready to pitch that ball back, huh?
That looked like
I thought I saw
Colorado
it.
Buffaloes.
Escape from the football field is requested.
Now we're kind of seeing a little turn here on the tables, John, as Foothill kind of goes to DeAnza power football. And I think at this time it might be a great change of pace, just in the sense that you're able to get the DeAnza defense to start thinking run, so therefore when John goes back to pass, at least he's got somebody trying to respect the run.
Well, it makes it a lot easier when you can pick up a first down on 2 running plays.
Kendall Freeman does a nice job to cradle that ball. That ball is complete. It's going to bring up, it's going to be 3rd down and a long 1 yard. This drive for Foothill began on their own 20-yard line. The ball now rests on the 44-yard line. And Al Brown doing a nice job to drive that ball past the 45-yard line.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be giving away the Macintosh computer. Brown picked up the first down. That's right.
And I kind of see right now a little confidence kind of coming from the Owl huddle, John. I think maybe, I think John he kind of came back in there a little bit fired up. I don't know exactly if he was hurt, but I know certainly the competitor that he is, if he was kind of yanked out of the ball game for poor performance, he wants to have a good showing. Al Brown. And Ray Wright was able to sniff that one out from the get-go. Comes up from his cornerback position and makes a nice tackle for no gain. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
DeAnza. That's right, at the football game.
4:20 left here on our 3rd quarter clock and ticking. As we get a chance there, we had a chance to take a look at Coach Pifferini taking a relaxing moment there on the sidelines. Oh, a nice shot by Charles. It's Doug Dockery. It's daylight. And the Owls have pierced the bubble. Charles hits a sprinting Cookerly. And at the 20-yard line, a flag is dropped. Now, the flag was just picked up. Was it accidental? Now, a clipping call is called against Foothill, so well, the bad news there, John, as far as Foothill's concerned, the touchdown obviously is called back. The pass was complete, so the penalty goes from where the infraction was made, so the ball rests now at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Charles did a nice job there to get the ball out to Freeman Kendall. Excuse me there for our viewing audience. Need to change that back around for Kendall Freeman. Did a nice job of avoiding the rush there by Luciano Foster. Second down and 10 here, John. What are you looking for?
Well, I think they want to go back to that seam pattern that worked so successfully on that called back touchdown. Go inside on a straight up pattern to one of the wide receivers. He's open.
Ball's up top, going deep. And Richard Dixon was there stride for stride with Kendall Freeman. A nice play from the cornerback position from Richard Dixon. Getting a chance. I know Richard's one of the hardest workers on this DeAnza ball club, and I know it was kind of hard for him there in the early part of the season when assistant head coach Andy Watt had him on the sideline coming out of the nickel package, but against a passing team here like the Owls, he's getting plenty of time to play tonight. 3rd down and 10 from the shotgun. Plenty of time to throw, delivers, and it's caught. Doug Cookerly comes down with the reception for a 1st down. Luciano's forearm said hello to his chin, and Doug was able to hang on to the football.
That was a frozen rope by John Charles. He really stuck it in there between 2 linebackers.
Here they go, 5 wideouts. 1st and 10.
Inside receiver is going to be open.
Oh, he's in there. Jim Kinsey, number 5, is able to slice through the middle of the DeAnza defense. And the touchdown that was called back just about 3 minutes ago finally becomes official and is placed on the scoreboard. So with 3:10 here, the score reached 21-9. We have Frank Perkins with the hold. Mike McGee with the kick. And Mike shanks this one left. Being a soccer-style kicker, a little bit too much English. So with 3:10 remaining here on the 3rd quarter clock, the lead is being cut into once again. DeAnza 21, Foothill 9. And I really look for this next series to be a key one. The DeAnza offense, John, needs to answer back in some fashion.
Well, DeAnza,
not necessarily a score, but at least a few 1st downs.
Well, DeAnza really has to reestablish their running game that worked so well early in the 1st quarter. Early in the 1st quarter, they were attacking that left side of the Foothill defense, and they need to go back to those type of plays. But it all starts up front with the big linemen. They have to do their jobs, and the running backs have to run hard.
Well, we've sent back 2 of our best athletes, and that's number 15, Percy Wells, and number 20, David Morgan, to receive this kickoff from Mike McGee. We're lined up we've got our hands team out on the field anticipating some type of trickery from Foothill, and they specialize in that. McGee lets into it. It's an end-over-end kick. It's going to go to David Morgan on the 15-yard line. He's got a little bit of a wall, cuts back, and is able to make a 10-yard return, takes the ball out on the 26-yard line, where DeAnza will begin their next possession. And unfortunately, I have to say this has been a trend that DeAnza has shown as far as getting on top and dominating a contest and really not having the Mike Tyson knockout blow. Kenny Sanders sweeping right, breaks through a tackle. And who is out there? None other than number 12, Jason Seidel, coming up with another hit. He must have to spend a lot of time in the film room there, John. God, his services are being shared on both sides of the line, and he's got to know a lot of stuff. Pass coverages, pass plays, when to hand the ball off.
Well, I'm still impressed.
Reverse pivots.
I'm still shaking my head about his long snapping on the field goals and the punts.
There's a little Leon Hawthorne thrown at the Foothill defense. Straight trap up the middle for a 4-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down and 6. A nice collision made out there on the field as Kenny Sanders is driving the ball upfield. And I honestly have to raise my hand, John. When you take a look here at the Foothill defense, every single one of those 11 players is thinking run. You've got your defensive backfield almost at only an 8 to 7 yard cushion. and yet DeAnza refuses to throw the football deep.
Well, I have to hand it to Foothill, too. They've held DeAnza scoreless here for almost 30 minutes.
They're down at 2. Santana doing his best, trying the right side behind James Poley. And it looks like another spot does not come up in DeAnza's favor. And another punt here by the Dons. Frank Perkins going back deep. Pat Nicholas getting off a fairly high end over end kick. The ball hit on about the 25-yard line. Rolls out on the 18.
Well, Footill's really hung in here tonight, and they have an excellent chance here to cut the lead to less than 7 points.
So 40 seconds here remaining left in the third quarter. John Charles will begin this next drive. First down and 10 from his own 17. And I think the Foothill players almost have a right there to be upset. That was Doug Cookerly that John Charles was trying to go up on top to. Foothill slightly upset there that the tackle by number 15, Percy Wells, covering on that play, took place before the ball actually got there.
Well, that was an excellent throw by John Charles, but I really like the play fake. The defense was full, and they almost snuck a wide receiver down deep on DeAnza.
Second down and 10. A quick hitter, pass is complete to Jim Kinsey. Jim's able to take that pass, and he's able to drive it upfield for just about 5 yards on a one-on-one play. It's brought down by number 6, Alden Barrett. And John, we've just witnessed the last play of the third quarter as the Owls decide to let this play take off. So right now in a game where DeAnza leads 21-9, but the statistic we have to mention, DeAnza has not scored in over 2 quarters. It's time to play the final 15 minutes here in this 1989 homecoming game. The end of the third quarter. DeAnza 21, Foothill 9. All right, as we get a chance to see the 49er Gold Rush continuing to entertain our crowd here. Dancing to a little Michael Jackson as we begin the fourth quarter, our final 15 minutes. With 3rd and 4. Oh, almost a beautiful one-handed catch. The ball falls incomplete to Jim Kinsey. And John Charles receives another blow as he releases that pass, and he gingerly takes a sore body to the sidelines.
Well, that series really emphasized what John Charles can do on the football field. He can put the ball anywhere on the field. He's got the strongest arm in this league. He threw it deep out at about 45 yards, and he rifled one over the middle there on a line.
Mike McGee did a smart thing there. He calls a timeout. Foothill once again only had 10 players there, and on a punting situation like that, you're not going to match up on your punt blocking defense. So a timeout called by Foothill with 14:55 left here in this final quarter. And earlier here in the year, DeAnza has shown an excellent ability to be able to block the punt, John. And this would be a perfect opportunity for them to make a hole there for number 6, Alden Barrett, to try and get through and block this Mike McGee punt.
They do have to be careful of DeAnza. The last 3 times Foothill has punted, they've run into the kicker. Well, not hard enough to draw a penalty, but very close.
McGee gets it away. It's Dixon fielding it. Breaks a tackle and steps out of bounds. He was able to slip out of the tackle. Garrett Dolby was Was able to sidestep his tackle and gain an extra 5 yards. First down and 10 for DeAnza on their own 45-yard line. 14:46 here left. And in my last home game, John, it's my homecoming game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, Bob Pipperini, here's my last 14 minutes to show my stuff in front of the home crowd. Oh! A nice play fake by Zermeno delivers a strike to David Morrigan, 15 yards downfield, and it falls incomplete. Unfortunately, David's face mask was not going to catch that pass.
One thing on that particular rollout pass, I think Chris has to understand that he's throwing the ball between the underneath zone and the up top zone, and he needs to float it in more. It's hard to drill a ball between the linebackers coverage and the defensive backs coverage.
Santana remains on his feet, and he's rode out of bounds by number 2, Garrett Dolby.
Robert Santana reminds me of,
aren't you impressed by the enthusiasm with which he carries the football, John?
well, he really reminds me of Bill Ring. He kind of pops into that hole,
He
runs on and off the field.
He takes that pigskin and tucks it underneath his arm like it's the very last carry. Kind of reminds me of an old Stanford runner, Mike Dutterer. How's that for you?
That brings a name from the past.
We just thought we just might pull that one out of the hat for you. 3rd down and 6. All day to throw. Here we go. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Chris showing a little inexperience there. But at the same time, let's give Clinton Chowning a slight round of applause for keeping his pass rush effort, and as it pays off, Chris had all day to throw. Obviously could not find anybody to throw to, so it brings on Pat Nicholas for another punt. High punt. Frank Perkins did a nice job, was able to kind of detect the spin on that ball, decides not to catch it, and it lands.
Okay, the winner for the Macintosh computer is Keith Rarick. Keith Rarick. You've got to be present to win. Keith's not here.
So as the ball rests here on the 39-yard line, it's 1st down and 10. 5 wide receivers in a hurry-up offense for the Owls.
They have a mismatch out here on a wide receiver on a linebacker, Matt.
And that's a nice toss. I got to admit, hey, for a 9-yard gain to throw the football 35 yards on a rope, that's a nice effort there by John Charles. I would also think, John, what if you went to the hurry-up offense with no huddle and you kind of limit DeAnza with the opportunity to make substitutions?
Well, I think that's what the Cincinnati Bengals do, but they do it the whole game.
Oh, quick outlet pass by Charles. It's a foot race, one man to beat.
Oh, late hit.
That's James Smith. And that was not a good idea. Oh my, we're having flashbacks of CSM. And that was not an intelligent or heads-up play by number 50, Lufasa. Lufasa plays on emotion alone. And sometimes when that trigger blows, John, it's not going to help your ball club. Frankly, right now, if I'm Bob Mazuka, you got to grab Lufasa and take him out for a play or two, at least for him to maintain his composure.
Well, DeAnza kind of finds himself in a hole right here. It's
well, frankly, hey,
quarter.
13:32 left. Their offense has done absolutely nothing for 2 quarters. They're trying to hang on to 21 points. Charles, who's benched earlier in the 2nd quarter, has found new life. He's driven his team almost 60 yards, and the ball rests now 1st down and 10 on the 15. The ball is caught, drop, falls incomplete to Jim Kinsey. And I'm taking a look here as they spread the 5 wide receivers out, John. Somebody's got to come across the middle. The middle is just Death Valley.
That surprised me that time. DeAnza was in a 2-deep zone with only 2 safeties deep, and I expected to see a wide receiver flash up the center and receive a pass from John Charles. Instead, he ran a little button hook. Here they're in the same type of defense.
Oh, nice move there by Kendall Freeman. And in just a short 5 yards, Kendall Freeman shows some excellent athletic ability. God, with moves like that, we could put him on stage at the Gold Rush. He can keep up with those ladies. So right now, as the ball rests on the 5-yard line, it's first down and goal, with the Owls having their full 4 chances to get into the end zone. And here we go. Let's mark this down, John. With 13:07 left, Foothill is required to take their second timeout. Now, as often as a tradition here with Bob Mazuka, he brings his entire defensive squad over to the sideline to make sure that his coaching instructions are heard by all 11 ball players. This is something I'm kind of surprised why maybe sometimes you don't see this type of coaching, done on the Division I level a little bit more. Where if you're the defensive coordinator like Bob Mazuka is, I mean, why take the chance that someone's not going to hear the message? Get all 11 pairs of ears over there and tell them exactly what to do.
Again, Matt, it's kind of tough if you're a passing team. Once you get inside the 10-yard line, the territory gets a lot smaller, and it's tougher to complete a pass. That's when you have to rely on your running game.
And they give it a shot there to Al Brown. The ball's now resting on the 3-yard line. Foothill is here knocking on the door. Can DeAnza keep the door shut? Second down and 2. Al Brown giving the handoff once again. And if they respect the pass, what do you think about a delayed quarterback draw here, John? Maybe Charles goes back 3 steps, finds a little nook and cranny to kind of get through?
Yeah, I would like to run that off of that 5 wide receiver set that Foothill employs so often. Let's see if they run it, Matt.
All right, the DeAnza defense doing their best to stay home. 3rd down and 1 from the 1. And a quick hitter by Kendall Freeman falls incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down and 1. Now put yourself over on the sideline of Foothill, John. Do you go for the guaranteed 3 with 11:46 left?
No, man, I was kind of surprised on that last call.
That to me right there was a 2nd down play.
You're right. I believe they should let John Charles get outside where he can use his athletic ability to either run the ball or pass it.
Here it is. Unbelievable. We've seen weirder things happen. Unbelievable as the lead shrinks once again. Just like your favorite blouse in your dryer, it's just getting smaller and smaller. It's 21-15 here, John, with 11:43 left. Now, Coach Mazuka's got to do something here. It appears that Foothill is going to attempt for the 2-point conversion, therefore only being down by 4 points. And as Coach Mazuka gets a chance there to talk to his troops, I just kind of noticed because he was on crutches, and it just kind of sent a little message here to myself upstairs. When Fred Copeland's shin got banged up on that one tackle, the running game kind of seemed to go south there just because it seemed like Copeland and Hawthorne were doing such a nice job on those first three possessions, kind of in a 1-2 tag team type effort. And Sanders and Santana have done their best to fill his shoes, but it really hasn't happened. So it's kind of given the Foothill defense a chance just to key on the one back, Hawthorne, and right now it's worked.
That's right. She just won a DeAnza set of sweatshirt. Sweater. Oh, nice item.
Let's look for that quarterback draw right here, Matt.
No, it's a quick hitter inside on the slant. And it's Jim Kensey. And he beats James McClure to the inside. That's a touchdown. Excuse me, getting ahead of myself there. The touchdown was scored there on the run and the two-point conversion. So with 11:43, Coach Mazuka is seeing his lead just dwindle away once again. It's been cut to 4. Now I hope Bob has got some words of wisdom. Right now he's counting. And if you can believe this, you know, this is a perfect example right here of DeAnza not having their head in the ball game when you can't even get 11 guys out here on the field to field a kickoff.
Well, it happens so often in sports. You get a big lead and you feel like it's going to be a cakewalk the rest of the game, and that's what DeAnza felt like was going to happen tonight. They let Foothill come back into it. Foothill was demoralized, but they regrouped at halftime, and now they have an excellent shot at winning this game.
Well, Sermento's doing his best. He's warming up his arm here on the sideline, so maybe that's an indication that
Now,
Coach Pipperini thinks he needs to go up on top in the air.
DeAnza's really trying to, as you said, protect their lead. I don't understand why they're expecting an onside kick here. It's 11:43 to go in the fourth quarter.
Percy Wells, David Morgan back deep. The ball's driven, pass almost over. Percy falls down. He better get on the ball. It's live. So DeAnza doesn't even have a chance to return the kickoff back. And the Foothill defense, who's been playing with a much higher level of enthusiasm than the DeAnza offense, goes back on defense. And I have to really put this next drive really on the shoulders of the 5 men up front who call themselves the Hogs to get something going.
There we go.
Sanders. Off right tackle behind Nicholas and Poley. A gain of 17.
Matt, where's that play been for the last 3 quarters? It seemed like they ran that constantly in the first quarter for large chunks of yardage, and now they're just coming back to it now in the fourth quarter.
Here we go, first down and 10. Hawthorne driving upfield for a gain of 5. Now, as you well know, hey, as far as Bill Walsh and even now George Seaford football is concerned, John, if you can keep the ball on the ground in the fourth quarter, even if you're trying to protect a lead or go down for a score, you're also doing yourself a favor with the clock.
Well, it's very important to establish a running game here in the fourth quarter, but also it's even more important to hold on to the ball.
Oh, a nice hit. Sanders had a chance there to kind of bob and weave, and he doesn't. And he just takes a full-line shot by Garrett Dolby. And let's also credit number 24, Kevin Jackson. So here comes a crucial play. We're going to call this 3rd down and 5. And DeAnza so far here in the second half has been unsuccessful on all third down attempts. Play fake. And his knee was down by Santana for a 4-yard loss. And oh my, how important emotion and momentum is in a ball game. Just when you think you've got the guy on his back, he comes up and pops you in the chin. Here comes Nicholas. Gets up a high lofting kick. Foothill plays getaway. Ball's not going to go very far. And unfortunately here for the DeAnza faithful, Foothill is once again in excellent field position to begin this next drive. And their last two possessions ending in scores, John, they're playing with a little confidence.
Well, they're in their 5 receiver set. Look to them go inside to one of those wide receivers on a seam pattern.
Jim Kinsey for a 6-yard gain. It's kind of interesting what Jim's doing there. He's kind of out of the backfield, John. He just takes one step upfield, and if nothing's open outside, John, that's his outlet pass.
Well, you always have to remember where your outlet receiver is, because it's really good for the completion percentage to hit that guy every once in a while.
Straight drop back, wide open. Poor tackling. Unbelievable. 6 tacklers. Now try and figure this one out. It's number 13, Doug Herkley, and Doug's 6'2", 175. And you're telling me, John, it takes 6 guys to bring down a gentleman of 175?
Foothill is really playing with enthusiasm right now, Matt.
Go deep. Go deep.
Ball was fired a little bit too soon. It was intended for Kendall Freeman. Percy Wells on the coverage, and John delivered that ball just a little bit behind Kendall, and it falls incomplete.
Well, Matt, I think DeAnza's starting to wake up and smell the coffee. It's 21-17. Their lead, but Foothill's on their 34-yard line.
But why put your fans through so much grief? 2nd down and 10.
They only have 2 safeties back. That means a wide receiver can be open down the center. Oh.
Charles once again looking for Jim Kinsey. Ball falls incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. And like you said, John, with only 2 safeties, the middle's wide open, and I'm not kind of surprised why the Owls don't try some type of a pick play where the inside receiver goes out and the one inside receiver cuts back in. It's kind of maybe like a 13-yard post in the middle. But then again, I'm not the offensive coordinator. Here we go, 3rd and 10. And it looks as though a 1st down run here by Lamont McAllister is going to be called back. And that's because teammate Kendall Freeman here on the far left-hand side lined up. He decided to kickstart his motor a little bit soon. So a break for the defense. A Foothill penalty is going to help march this ball back about 5 yards and bring up 3rd and 15. So depending on what side of the bleachers you're sitting on tonight, that penalty flag comes in a great time here for DeAnza and a poor one for Foothill. 3rd down and 15. 5 wideouts from the shotgun.
Here comes the blitz.
Scoops it up off the turf. Oh, the ball's caught by Kinsey. And he's dragged out of bounds by Jamal Caldwell. And they're able to gain 16 yards, not only get a 1st down, hold on to the football, and continue to threaten to punch the ball in the end zone. Coach Mazuka is just looking very worried on the sidelines.
One-on-one coverage over here to the left side. They're going to go to it.
Dale Fermi, he's open. Percy Wells tries to take his head off, but for no avail. He's on the floor. And I got to think that's a mistake. You can't put an athlete. Kendall Freeman is the Jerry Rice here of the Foothill Owls, and you can't simply cover him one-on-one. Regardless, DeAnza's going to try it again. The same play as before that scored, and Luciano Foster is not going to let Jim Kinsey catch that football. Going to bring up 2nd down and 7. Now, in that other passing feast that we had a chance to see, John, against Gavilan, the pass rush did slowly but surely at the end of the game kind of stall in second gear. Takes a lot out of you chasing the quarterback.
Well, it does, and that's one reason Foothill's offense is doing so well here in the fourth quarter.
Charles puts up a touch pass, and it looked like there was a little bit of confusion in the end zone. It was intended for his tight end, Phil Gillen. Kinsey's brought in the play from the sidelines. It's 3rd down and 7.
Defense! 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 Defense!
DeAnza needs to rise to the challenge.
Defense! Defense! Defense!
Oh, in and out of the hands. James Smith had a chance to play hero.
That was a nice throw by John Charles. He put it the only place he could. Foothill just didn't come down with the grab.
Now, do you agree with the strategy here, John? With 7:17 left on the clock, 4th down situation. Foothill went for it last time. They're a little bit further away now. They're on the 7-yard line, and they're deciding to go for 3.
Well, I think you got to come away with 3 points here. They're down by 4. If they can make this field goal, they can win the game on another field goal late in the game.
It's up and through. That 3 points added on the scoreboard by Mike McGee has caught the Don lead to 1. 7:14 left on the clock. A look at the scoreboard shows DeAnza 21, Foothill 20. And if you're a novelist, God, you can't, as far as a script is concerned, you've got yourself a cliffhanger. Taking a look here at the defense here on the sidelines, they just kind of look shocked. There's a nice picture there of Todd O'Donnell, number 51, just shaking his head. I think a lot of people are. Now, Coach Mazuka is still anticipating the onside kick. He's got his hands team on the field. Santana and Morgan back deep, 30 and 20 respectively. I still expect to see McGee to boom it deep. The ball's going to fall into Robert Santana's arms on the 10-yard line. Santana fights his way out to the 26-yard line. Mike Holt, the DeAnza center, showing some enthusiasm, getting out to start this huddle. And we've sent out a wake-up call to the DeAnza offense.
Well, this is the most critical time of the game, and you got to get the ball into your best player. DeAnza's best player being the Hawk. You got to give a chance to the Hawk to make a big play for DeAnza.
Hey, how about a little trickery? Reverse to David Morgan. The play went a little bit too deep in the backfield. Foothill doing a nice job adjusting to the trickery. And it's only a gain of 4 yards. More importantly, Bob Mazuka's marching up and down the sidelines with his defensive back coach, Andy Watt, hopefully explaining to his defense how to stop John Charles if Foothill gets the ball back. Santana stays on his feet, gains about 2. And Foothill, that seemed completely outmanned defensively here in the first quarter, is playing like a completely different unit here in the fourth. DeAnza still 0 for 6 in the second half on third down tries.
Well, one thing that we haven't mentioned yet that has hurt DeAnza here in the second half on offense is Rock Pifferini has had to take himself out of the game for playing tight end. He's just been too beat up.
A delay to Pat Nicholas. Nicholas holds onto the ball for a completion. We're going to need a spot check to see where exactly the referee's going to place this ball. And it's number 56, Jeff Whipperman. And he did just exactly that. He whipped Pat. But the big boy, number 89, was able to hold on to the ball. And now it's going to be a tail of the tape to see whether DeAnza, with 5:36 left here in the fourth quarter, can hold on to the football. Well, by the tail of the tape, DeAnza gets a break, and it's going to be first down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Sanders. Kenny Sanders doing a nice job of running upfield and protecting the football.
Sanders was freed by a great block by Leon Hawthorne. He really took the outside linebacker totally out of the play.
I'm glad you mentioned that, John, because that's a part of the total package that Leon Hawthorne offers that really kind of goes overlooked. And that's the fact that he is an outstanding blocker. First down and 10. Hawthorne breaking straight up the middle. A gain of 8. And hopefully the DeAnza front 5 up front is not forgetting too late how to take care of the little things, and that's to block up front. 4:39 left and counting. Second down and 3. Hawthorne's loose. The Hawk takes flight. First down and 10. The ball resting on the 24-yard line. Hawthorne showing speed outside. Hawthorne, is he in? And for a big man, 220 pounds, sweeping left, he's able. The big boy's got a fifth gear of his own. Takes the ball to the 1-inch line.
I didn't know the Hawk was that fast, Matt. I knew he was fast, not that fast. That was a fullback turning the corner. It was a dead sprint. He almost made a touchdown.
First down and goal to go for the Dons. Touchdown, DeAnza! Now as DeAnza gets set for the all-important point after touchdown. Oh! Talk about having your pacemaker checked. Your heart sank on that one. The ball is deflected, partially blocked, but it still goes through. 3:53 left. The scoreboard shows DeAnza 28, Foothill 20. Now, even though the DeAnza faithful has a right to be on their feet, jumping up and down and cheering, John, you have to remember Charles has been effective in a two-point conversion, and the ball game is tied.
Well, I have to hand it to DeAnza. They drove the length of the field for a touchdown, but they did do the smart thing and give the ball to the Hawk.
So here's Tyson Drager in the kick. Low line drive. The ball was fielded there by Al Brown. His cleats slip out from under him and his knees touch. John Charles and company will take over at their own 24-yard line. 76 yards away from an attempt to try and tie the ball game. Here it is, 3:52, one timeout left for the Owls. Five wideouts. Pass is complete to Kendall Freeman.
Again, Matt, the key in this fourth quarter, the reason why Foothill has been able to throw the ball so well is that the time that John Charles has had to throw the ball.
You got to give credit to the 5 men up front for the Owls, doing a beautiful job protecting Charles. Oh, he's open. It's a foot race. He gets to the outside. 30, 20. Alden Barrett, who was passed before, stays with the play and gets a second shot at Kendall and comes through and knocks him out of bounds at the 15. The ball resting on the 17. And this ball game is far from over, so if you're heading for your cars now, stay put.
No one's on this wide receiver down here to the bottom of your screen.
Kinsey slices the middle. Takes a hellacious shot, but Jim holds on to the football. And there's too much time left in this ball game. There's 3:09 and counting. The ball resting on the 5, first down and goal. It's Kinsey. He's in. Touchdown, Foothill. Now, John, as an omen, we've called it, and I saw it on that last play. Frankly, it was open. The middle linebackers have got to respect the fact when Foothill goes to the 5 wideouts and a John Charles 3-step drop, quarterback draw, it's there. Let's see if DeAnza can think about it. Here's a chance for their whole season. Luciano Foster with the big play. Sweet Lou comes through. .249 left, 28-26. This ball game is far from over. So as the Gold Rush here, John, continually trying to entertain us. they've got the fans excited. Let's certainly hope they've got the DeAnza offense here excited, because they still have 2 minutes and 49 seconds left in this contest. And it's far from over. Now they're anticipating the onside kick, and they give it a shot. The ball's loose. And a round of applause to number 14, John Morris. He withstood an onslaught of 8 charging Owls and hangs on to the football. And from where that ball was recovered, it looks like the ball was caught. It looks like the ball was caught there before it had gone 10 yards. We have a ball player down here on the field, and that's number 44. Tom Guitars played a fine ball game as we take a look at Fred Copeland, who was knocked out himself with a sore, God, say that 3 times fast. How about a sore shin? There we go, we got that out. But there's Bob Mazuka taking it upon himself to get his chalkboard out there to instruct his defense, and Foothill, by chance, should get their hands back on the football. What exactly to do?
Foothill more or less has to stop them on this series of downs right here. They've already used 2 of their timeouts. They'll only have 1 left. And basically, DeAnza only has to make 1 first down to win this ball game.
So at this timeout, we would like to let you know that we will be sending John down to the field here in just about a minute or so to hopefully get some cheerful post-game interviews down on the sideline from some victorious DeAnza Don ball players as they finish out their season, and for some of the sophomores finishing out their DeAnza careers, and DeAnza College finishing out their career here at this stadium. Right now, Tom Guitar is still down on the ball field. And he is being helped off the field as we take a look at the 49er cheerleaders, the Gold Rush. What a beautiful job they did tonight performing here for the sellout homecoming crowd. And this is kind of too bad. This is too bad to see. Tom Guitars played a beautiful ball game. He played his heart out. He's been in on many tackles on defense. And you hate to see this, because when a ball player goes off the field, when he's not underneath his own power, it looks like he's got a knee problem. So here we go, 1st down and 10. Hawthorne charging forward. The clock continues to run. A 9-yard gain, 2nd down and 9. The Hawks loose. He busts loose. And I can't tell you what a beautiful way for the Hawk to end his career. No one more on this DeAnza squad deserves it. One of DeAnza's greatest athletes to ever proudly wear the crimson and gold. And it's just beautiful to watch number 4 fly down the field. Leon Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen, one of DeAnza's best. Even with a sore leg and all, Drager remains perfect for the season. 2:02 left, 35-26. And there's a great close-up on the Hawk. Beautiful work, number 4. We're going to miss you. And that last PAT by Tyson was a big one. A touchdown and 2-point conversion will still have the Owls 1 point short. So here we are, 2:02 left in the fourth quarter. Drager set to kick. High end over end. Caught at the 8. Dean Trullo does a nice job bringing the ball upfield. And let's certainly hope DeAnza comes out and plays some hard defense and doesn't just decide to pack it in with 2 minutes left to play. Charles gets it to Kinsey. He's wide open. And this has just been a beautiful, you really have to give credit here to the black and red here at Foothill. They could have packed in their bags and gone home. It's a situation where they refuse to die. Too many men on the field here for DeAnza. Richard Cotter was doing his best to get off the playing field. He did not in time, but unfortunately for Foothill, the back judge had his back to the player leaving the field, so that was not called. 1:40 left. Second down and 10. Oh, a nice ball's fired. Caught, dropped. What are they calling? Almost a fine effort there by Kendall Freeman. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to admit here, this is kind of funny. I sent my cohort, my color analyst, John Payne, down on the field here to get some color interviews. And that he's doing right now. He's personally interviewing the Gold Rush. So we'll have to hear some interesting tidbits here from the Gold Rush as they visited us here tonight. And a late flag called on number 15, Percy Wells. The pass was intended for 13, Doug Kirkerly. And to Robert Cliche, Percy was all over Doug like a blanket, and a proper foul was called. So with 1:27 left, Foothill refuses to die. And in a rivalry such as this, I mean, this is the type of competition that you look for week in and week out. And it's nice to see these young men go out there and give it everything they've got. There's Kinsey wide open again. He sneaks out of bounds on the 15-yard line. He also stops the clock. And for somebody that's 5'8" and 155, Jim Kinsey does a remarkable job of going across the middle and catching the football. Oh, Kinsey, in and out of his hands, that ball was complete. And unfortunately here with 1:15 left, we're kind of getting a chance to see that our defensive front, they're kind of out of gas. Our pass rush really hasn't been there in the fourth quarter. Second down and 10. Hey, a beautiful play by number 5, Ray Wright. A one-handed interception by Ray. Now there's the big play that the DeAnza defense has been looking for. And Ray comes up with the biggest play of this year for him with 108 that should almost seal the victory for DeAnza. Right now, Foothill just left with one timeout. And Coach Mazuka decided to go for the one kneel touch to try and peacefully bring this game to a close. And I have to say, all in all, just an outstanding event to be a part of. Beginning with the district barbecue, leading to fantastic halftime entertainment, not to mention a great contest put out on the field tonight by both teams. And that last play there should officially end this contest. And it's got to feel good for those sophomores, and especially Bob Pifferini, who after 23 years we get to say goodbye to in his last home game, and we send him home a winner. As the final horn sounds and the players exchange pleasantries on the field, the scoreboard shows DeAnza 35, Foothill 26.
You're so cute. Bill is being such a big baby. He won't wear